At the edge of Omopara village, there stood a lonely house no one dared to enter. It wasn't broken. It wasn't ugly. In fact, it was beautiful, painted white with blue windows that shimmered under the sun. But it had no door. People said the house had been built overnight. One evening, there was only grass. The next morning, it stood there, complete and silent. And it was waiting. One curious girl named Nkem didn't believe in superstitions. She was known in the village for asking too many questions. If there is no door, she said one afternoon, how does it expect anyone to enter? The elders warned her. Some houses are not meant for people. But Nkem's heart beat louder than their fear. That night, under the full moon, she walked toward the strange house. As she stepped closer, she noticed something odd. There was no door. But there was a small mirror fixed to the wall. The mirror looked old, its edges cracked like dry soil. Nkem stared into it. At first, she saw her reflection. Then, she saw herself inside the house. Inside the mirror, she stood in a grand hall filled with light. The walls were lined with books. The air shimmered like stars. And in the center of the room was a wooden chest. Her reflection smiled. Enter, it whispered. Nkem's heart raced. She reached out to touch the mirror. And suddenly, the glass turned soft like water. Before she could think twice, she stepped through. She found herself inside the very house no one could enter. The air smelled like rain. The walls glowed softly. And the chest in the center of the room seemed to hum with life. When she opened it, she expected gold. Or jewels. Instead, she found letters. Letters written in her own handwriting. Each one described her future. One letter said she would travel far beyond the village. Another said she would build a school. Another said she would become someone the world would listen to. At the bottom of the chest was a final note. This house appears only to those brave enough to believe they are more than their surroundings. Suddenly, the house began to fade. Nkem closed her eyes. When she opened them again, she was standing outside in the grass. The house was gone. Only the mirror remained, now small enough to hold in her palm. From that day forward, whenever doubt tried to whisper fear into her heart, Nkem looked into the mirror. And instead of seeing who she was, she saw who she was becoming. Moral lesson. Bravery and self-belief open doors that fear keeps closed. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to Folk Night TV.